Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling, and I'm your host. Now, Anita Anand was in front of the Public Accounts Committee, and she was obviously not there prepared. She didn't say anything of any consequence except that she didn't know anything. She kept dodging and weaving, and the idea that she knew she was coming, and that she came so with such little preparation and was desperate to get anybody but the conservatives to talk to her, because everybody else was all, oh, aren't you a warm and fuzzy kind of human being? But the conservatives were trying to get our money back, right? The conservatives want to expose the corruption, so they're the only ones that are treating them with anything other than kid gloves, right? Anything other than, aren't we all friends? Let's kumbaya around the table, while Canadians, lose electricity, can't drive their car, all that kind of stuff. And when she spoke with Minister Genuis, it was really a one-sided kind of affair. Like, he played with her like a cat plays with a mouse. I mean, she tried really hard to be, blusterous or whatever they call that. Like, she tried really hard to push back. But honestly, I think that he just saw her coming. And, well, anyway, you'll see here in a second. But before we get into it, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends. I would really love to grow this channel. I'd want to reach a bigger audience, and, any support you want to give me, I appreciate. All right, let's do this.
Hello, Minister. You served as Minister of Public Services and Procurement and President of the Treasury Board during the period of the Arrive Scam scandal. There are two major outstanding questions that I hope I can get answers to today. The first is, why was GC Strategies so special to the Trudeau government? And secondly, what were Liberal ministers doing while this was unfolding? Now, on the first question, GC Strategies was founded in 2015. It has done extensive and lucrative work with your government. So I want to ask you, what did your government see in GC Strategies? Why did you have this special relationship with them?
When I first learned about the Arrive Can application, it was at COVID committee meetings during the pandemic, and it was in the context of protecting the borders. But I do understand.
I want to drill down on this question. You've hopefully at least asked some questions about it, even if you didn't know about it until recently. Your own department did about $10 million in contracts with GC Strategies. So I do want to ask the minister again, because the minister is responsible for the department. Have you sought information about the close relationship between the government and GC Strategies? I'm just trying to understand why GC Strategies was this go-to for the government for so long.
Actually,
at such
thank
magnitude.
you for the question. I thank my honourable colleague for the question. Of course, I've sought information. I'm an extremely thorough and systematic minister.
Great.
I have
Let's
found that it is 10 contracts.
I don't understand the modern idea that you can add a word to an already maximized word, right? Like, serious is a word, right? So why would you say extremely serious? Like, where does that end, right? I don't understand, but I think that a person who's got as many law degrees as this individual does, it's 3, I believe, shouldn't be worried too much about adding it in front of a word like thorough. I mean, you're thorough, and it has its own definition. How would you be extremely thorough? I'm not 100% sure how that even works. I mean, isn't that just saying I'm being thorough? Like, you're either thorough or you're not, right? When you're thorough, you leave no stone unturned. And how do you do that extremely? Do you not sleep before you do it? I don't know. But I know that earlier in the, I know that from examples that Miss Anand, MP Anand, is not thorough in any way, shape, or form, unless you want to look at her pre-written answers and ask yourself if that's thorough, or if you wanted to tell yourself that the way that she doesn't want to take any responsibility for any of the problems that have passed through her departments, whether it be the military or whether it be the Treasury. I mean, she's pretty thorough at that, I suppose. Excuse me, she's extremely thorough at that, to use her own words. Now it's going to get, it's about to get really bad for her. So it's pretty funny.
No, but I'm asking the why question. Let me jump in because you're giving me numbers that I already have, but I'm asking the why question. Why was GC Strategies a constant go-to?
Well,
you didn't just give them contracts; you asked them for advice about what should go into RFPs. All of us have found represented this company to be completely uncredible and dishonest. What did your government see in this company that you just kept coming back to them for deals?
This is a piece of information that can be answered only by CBSA, not by me as president of the Treasury Board. They are the ones who approved this contract. They are the ones who were engaged with these suppliers.
I do have to move on.
It's difficult for me to
aside from ArriveCan, your department did 10
response.
As you said, your department did $10 million of contracts with them. So GC Strategies had a special relationship, not just with CBSA, but with your department as well. In the time I have left, I want to ask you about ministerial responsibility in our system of government. Ministers don't do everything themselves, but they are supposed to take responsibility for their departments because they establish the policies and the culture that guide them. Do you believe in the principle of ministerial responsibility as it relates to ArriveCan?
I believe that we need to ensure that we have the rules in place to ensure integrity.
You're avoiding the question. I think it's fairly obvious. It's a yes or no question. Do you believe in the principle of ministerial responsibility as it relates to ArriveCan?
I believe in the principle of ministerial accountability as a general matter.
And in this case?
I will say that I believe in the Westminster system of government as a whole, which is why I ran for public office.
What does ministerial responsibility mean to you in this context?
Ministerial responsibility in this context means coming to committee, answering the questions that members of the opposition,
by saying you don't know,
in the House have, and I am answering questions as I expect all of my colleagues to do.
What does it mean to you that your government is responsible, that the ministers in your government are responsible?
Thank you, Mr. Genuis. That's your last word. I will give the last word. If there's any from the minister, then I will turn.
I'd love a response.
Mr. Chair, everyone in this room believes in the Westminster system of government. That is why we are contributing to our democracy, and I appreciate the questions that my colleagues have answered across.
So no answer at all. When asked if she believes in being responsible, she dodged and weaved and talked about the Westminster system of government, which is that's the parliamentary system in most every country on earth, right? Westminster Abbey, as opposed to like your Westminster in London, England, where they basically the parliamentary system that we utilize in every country that was part of the British Commonwealth. It's, a hand-picked Senate, which is supposed to represent the lords of the land, and then the common people or the House of Commons who are elected by other peoples to represent. And then, here we have what's the Governor General, but they would have the King in England in the Westminster model of parliamentary procedure, as opposed to the United States model where the Senate is not handpicked and given jobs for life, it's elected. This lady didn't say anything, right? She just said that on the one hand, she's extremely thorough. Let's not forget that. But then on the other hand, she's got no straight answer to give you. So I suppose if you're not giving straight answers, you're pretty thorough at that. I guess we can consider that. But you're responsible for millions of dollars going into the hands of these people. You're responsible for the oversight of these GC strategies. You're responsible, and you're the head of the particular department. All of the decisions that were made under your purview are yours to take responsibility for. Do you hear that? As you listen to her, do you hear her talking that way, or do you hear her trying to think it's a big joke, laughing and smiling and looking at the very soft liberal chair, begging for assistance to get him to pull him out of it, cut him off mid-sentence? That's how desperate they were to get her out from under the scrutiny of the Conservative Party. Looks pretty fragile to me. Extremely thorough, though. Maybe I should have just said looks extreme. Anyway, I'm going to wrap here. I want to encourage you all to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I want to thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you next time.